Hey everyone, this is Ultra Runner. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I just want to do a quick little mini tour video. Also, just kind of talk through right now as a new collector in Hot Toys, and just wanted to talk through about if the time right now is the best time to be a Hot Toys collector, even in the state of the economic state of the world right now with the tariff situation. And just want to kind of give my thoughts on that and just kind of talk through it real quick. Also, kind of show you guys a little bit of update to the collection. Not a whole lot's changed, but there is some stuff that's coming in. A couple spots that I've made openings for, and I'm sure it's pretty obvious to see what those options are. Plus, of course, if you've seen some of the shorts, I've done some updates to the fusion reactors on those I've already had, and I just got a new fusion reactor kit for Cyborg, which I'm a huge fan of the Zack Snyder Justice League, as you guys already know. So I'm looking forward to seeing what NR does before I decide to go back and pick up some old units, or maybe Hot Toys with 2.0, the new ones, which kind of really takes me to the discussion for today. So let's start with the quality of the figures that are available right now. If you're a collector who was like me and like a lot of us that started off with 1/12 scale, I started off with Star Wars Black Series, and then I started picking up a couple Marvel Legends here and there, not really a Marvel Legends collector, and I jumped straight into imports. And I really appreciated the big quality jump just overall when I went to those figures, when I went to imports. And so I picked up my very first hot toy, which is the Falcon Captain America. I picked up this guy here, my very first one, February of 2023. Yeah, I'm sorry, December 2023. And I picked him up, and I was like, okay, this guy was phenomenal looking. I'm a big fan of that suit. Captain America is my favorite superhero of period of all time. And so I really like that cap suit. And I was like, well, I'll get it. I found it a really good deal on eBay. And that was it. And I really didn't plan on collecting Hot Toys. I just planned on getting that one and going from there. Well, in December of the following year, I had been really kind of contemplating over the year, should I pick up more Hot Toys and just transition my collection from 1/12 scale imports and like I say in Black Series to Hot Toys. And I really wasn't sure if I was going to do it. And there was a really good deal that Sideshow had at Christmas time of 2024, where you got like the free Ahsoka figure. And as you guys know, this is Ahsoka Clone Wars. This is my favorite version of Ahsoka. And this is that was such a great look for her. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and get her. And so what I ended up doing to get her for free, I bought this Captain America here, which is a 2012 suit, which is really one of my favorite suits for him. This is, of course, the 2.0 version. And I have him with the fusion reactors light up Loki scepter. So, which of course that doesn't normally have light up, and that's something he builds. So you send him one, and he'll build it for you. So I got that cap, which again, it's like I love Captain America, so that was like a no-brainer for me. I like to get as many as I can, and I picked up the Mark 85 Battle Damage. Now, like a lot of Marvel collectors, I am not a huge Iron Man fan. My favorite two suits are probably the Mark 7 and then the Mark 85. And I'm a big fan of Battle Damage. I don't like clean suits. So this right here was kind of a no-brainer for me. And this will probably be my one and only Iron Man suit. But as you can see, I have, multiple caps. But I will have, as many caps as I could possibly get in that case. So I picked up those two. And again, that Iron Man is die cast. It's not plastic like the old ones. And this cap was a 2.0 that was actually on sale. And I mean, he's phenomenal. Great head sculpt. The suit tailoring, the whole nine is such a good one. And then, of course, this Ahsoka's a bit older, but this is silicone body, or silicone arms, And, of course, it's not the animated look, but it's a real life representation of the animated look. And I really like it. It's an amazing look. And I've always thought about doing this because I did this for my Black Series collection where I had 332nd. But of course, there's no Captain Vaughn. So I picked up Vaughn. And then, of course, got Rex. And this is Rex, during the Order 66 from the Clone Wars episode where he, kind of turns on Ahsoka. He's got his helmet off, and he's sitting there looking at the hologram of Palpatine. And I actually I bought this separately because he didn't come with this. I bought that off eBay. I don't know, for $20 or something like that. But again, and just to show you, I still have a few Black Series and imports here. Mafex is Movie Realization, Boba Fett, Bandai, and then Storm Collectibles. Kenny Eagle, and other words, SA Figure Arts, B1 Battle Droids. But anyway, my whole point is, as a new collector jumping into to Hot Toys right now, every figure right now that they're dropping is pretty much top tier. One of the concerns, and I'll do a separate video on this, is going to be like, should you wait for something else if it's not available to buy? For instance, like Boba Fett, you guys know, is my absolute favorite fictional character. If I could only pick one character to have in my collection and nothing else, it would definitely be Boba Fett. This is my favorite look for him. This is the Daimyo look. This is the 1/4 scale Hot Toys. This was the QS, I think it was called the QS023 with the diorama base that lights up. Love this piece a lot. And because this show didn't do well, even though I enjoyed it, it was fine. The kids on the little mopeds, that was kind of stupid. But aside from that, I'm okay with it. And, them nerfing Boba Fett, but it was fine. But the looks from here, like this, the Boba Fett, which Black Series called Tython Boba, because essentially he was on planet Tython when he got his armor back. So this version of Boba Fett, Stellar, this is the Proto Boba Fett, Empire Strikes Back with mods on it. This is the Tusken Raider Boba Fett, which honestly, it's probably, I say this multiple times, this is like one of my favorite figures of everything I own, period, in the story. Like, I just think this is an amazing look. And I got this for for a steal, because during Christmas time, and of course, before I go there, this is the Boba Fett arena suit. And I got this 1/4 scale for the price of a 6 scale because nobody could move these things and nobody wanted them, And again, great purchase for me. And then this Boba Fett here, along with this Boba Fett here, so the Tython and the Tusken Raider Boba Fett, they were free from Sideshow with purchase of a certain amount. So a lot of people were selling those on eBay for $200 to $300. Well, that set was regular, I think $450 when it came out. So for me, I ended up buying it for $200. So, which I thought was a huge steal, because that's $100 a figure. Granted, no, it's figures that nobody really wanted, and they got them for free. So to the sellers, I don't really call that scalping. I mean, they made money on something that somebody was going to want, and I was the person that wanted it. So, so that's a great opportunity to pick stuff up. This Captain America concept suit, pretty inexpensive because it's not canon and nobody really wants it. But for me, this was a perfect Captain America because I want them all, and I like this I made this kind of mock-up blacked out version of my Avengers. So Infinity War Thor, which is, Apex Thor. I've got to get a bigger axe for him, but a Stormbreaker, but that is what it is. Big fan of this. Hawkeye, this is the deluxe version, Ronin, that came with the Ronin set. And eventually I'll get a Hulk. I'll just wait for the 2.0. Again, that's another video I'm going to make for another day talking about, does new collectors need to wait? But getting back, to everything, it's like, do you really need to, a lot of YouTubers who are Hot Toys collectors, been around for a long time, are talking about how the tariff situation is really bad, and you know, a lot of people are talking about getting out of collecting if this goes on for a long period of time. But I'll tell you this: if you're new to Hot Toys collecting, if you're buying a figure, you're buying some of the best engineering, face sculpts, and work they've done ever. And it's got, I actually, forgive me for the wire, and I'm redoing this shelf, getting ready for Ahsoka, the Padawan, and the Ahsoka the White. But yeah, I mean, what you're getting right now, like this Cobb Vanth, they're not going to 2.0 this guy. He's one and done. This Ahsoka, this Boba Fett recovery, repaint, that's what they call it. That guy, stellar. This Fennec Shand, just pretty amazing. I got two of the Codys, and I'm using those as like special detail around security for Boba Fett. Since he's like Daimyo now, and typically everybody in Star Wars universe, when they become a big badass, they typically have like special guard. They had the Senate guard wearing blue, and Palpatine had his his Crimson Guard, or his royal guard. And so I'm using those too, not as Codys, as just special versions of his Elite Guard. And I got those super cheap. These were Hot Toys exclusives. They're sold out pretty quick on Hot Toys website. But I picked both of these up from Tornado for $169 each. Which is I think they were $250 or $260 brand new. So like $100 off. And that's, for me, that was a steal. And of course I got Jango in the back, and he's kind of like watching over his son, like a ghost form or something like that, essentially. Spirit of Jango Fett watching over him. It's kind of how I had that framed out. But all I have to say is, even with all that going on, if you were to buy a figure now as a Hot Toys figure, new collector transitioning into the Hot Toys land, or Hot Toys realm of collecting, the figures are not figures that are going to be replaced anytime soon. Yes, there might 2.0. They're always going to 2.0, 3.0. Eventually some of these more popular figures like Iron Man, maybe they'll end up with Iron Man where you don't have to buy a Fusion Reactors kit. It'll come USB plugged in. Something of that nature. Same thing with Thor. They'll give us a new Thor, and he'll be USB instead of being button cell batteries, which is a freaking nightmare and a half. They'll eventually give us a bunch of versions of Black Widow where she's got, rooted hair. But, are we going to get a 2.0 version of this Bad Batch group? No. We may get season 2 or maybe even season 3 eventually. But, and of course, shout out to Echo. He's my favorite Bad Batcher. But as far as, you're not going to get 2.0s of these, and because they're already phenomenal figures. If you come down here to Captain America, see, these guys are probably going to get remade. Like this Battlesuit Cap, which is, he's a few years old, I guess a couple years old. I think this guy's phenomenal. I love this look completely for him. It's not my favorite look for him, but it's definitely one of my favorites. Of all the Captain Americas I have right now, easily my favorite is a concept cap. This guy here, all black shield. And the Mjolnir is actually something I gave him, not anything that he came with. But I don't even know why that Stormtrooper helmet's right there. I need to move that. But, it goes over to the Daimyo. Let me go ahead and move that now. I had that actually sitting over here. So it just kind of has like a little, hey, by the way, that's what we do to people. We take people's heads off, which is what Boba Fett should be. But yeah, even with the tariff situation, we're looking at 6 to 8% from Sideshow and some other collectors, some of the other shippers and retailers. That's really not much to say you may buy a figure and that's it. Whereas opposed to like 10 years ago, if that was the case, you're buying a figure that honestly, a lot of those figures don't hold up nowadays. If I look down here, the oldest figure I have, protection-wise, I think it's this Captain Marvel, and I like Captain Marvel. I like Brie Larson's character. I'm a big fan of Brie Larson. That figure is okay. It's got pretty good proportions. But if I look at her next to my Snowsuit Black Widow, which I adore, that is night and day as far as female build. I mean, this is a hard plastic body. It's not soft, whereas this is a soft body. So it actually makes the suit look like a person's in it, as opposed to not so much. So, but anywho, that's kind of what I want to talk about as far as like you guys coming out or you guys picking up Hot Toys and want to jump in. I think, Warren Buffett said it best: when, everyone is fearful, you should be brave. And when everything is brave, you should be fearful. So right now, with everybody just being so terrified of tariff and things like that, we all know this stuff doesn't last for long. And if you want to get a good deal or get something that you're not going to pay a lot for later on, because maybe you want to pick up another figure, and then all of a sudden that figure gets sold out, they don't make a bunch of them, and now that figure is 4 times the amount, or you just get priced out of it like some of this other stuff. I would say now it's a great time to get some of the best figures made, and you probably can be one and done with a lot of these. So that's just my opinion on the matter. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you got any questions. Comment, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Later.